How's it going, everyone? Got quite a bit to talk about in this video. A lot of updates on Horizon Forbidden West and potentially an expansion for the game being leaked, I guess, from the Games Rating UK board over on Twitter. They attached a video where if you go to about the minute and 10 section, yeah, some little information comes out. We'll talk about that. Also, we have an update on the Horizon Forbidden West sales numbers. Gorilla has dropped the Horizon Forbidden West soundtrack on all your favorite music streaming platforms. I want to mention that because that soundtrack is incredible. And a message from Bandai Namco about Elden Ring. We'll get to that at the end of this video. But yes, the VSC ratings board out of UK posted a video. Check out our latest installment of the VSC's age ratings guide. In this episode, we look at Horizon Forbidden West. Now, whatever, ratings boards, yada yada yada, not a big deal. However, if you go to around the minute and 15 section, it is noted that the game offers players the opportunity to connect to an online storefront where they can purchase subsequent DLC expansions, which some parents or carers may want to be aware of, obviously, because if you're just playing the game, that young debit card comes out and people buying expansions. But the more notable thing to me is that, wait a second, there's DLC and expansion coming to Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I don't think people find that too surprising. That seems to be the MO with Sony going forward, especially with the longer development periods. And go back to Horizon Zero Dawn, we had the Frozen Wilds, and that was received incredibly well. Forbidden West, I could easily see additional content being added if you look at how the game ended, and again, still not going to go into that. But there's a lot you can do, not necessarily getting into the next game, but as additional content for Forbidden West, absolutely you can do that. And if you released it at $19.99, I think a lot of people would pick it up. And again, you've been seeing that with a lot of these PlayStation titles, and seemingly they've been doing pretty well. Again, go back to Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn. Forbidden West is the one that just came out. Zero Dawn, you had the Frozen Wilds. Even Uncharted 4, you had Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Ghost of Tsushima, you had Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island. Marvel Spider-Man, you had Miles Morales. They vary in size from one another, you know, Forbidden West being a, Zero Dawn having the Frozen Wilds, which was like a $20 expansion, Miles Morales being a $50 kind of new entry, Iki Island being $20, or $30 for the PS5 upgrade, Lost Legacy being $40, so it does vary, but we're talking about these smaller experiences that are more so extenders rather than a full-on sequel. God of War 2018, notable that that game did not get one, but in the case of Horizon, yeah, I could easily see that, and it seems to be an effective strategy. Given that, again, these games, the development window is increasing and it's getting bigger and bigger. You're talking 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I mean, 3 years between games really doesn't happen anymore. You're looking more so 4, and if not 5, Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, 5 years. God of War 2018 to God of War Ragnarok, probably going to be 4.5 years, you know, to bridge the gap between those releases. I guess Sony thinks it's an effective way to go about things by releasing these, you know, smaller expansions that, you know, give the players a little bit of extra content, but for them it's another way to make money. And in the case of Marvel Spider-Man as well, you had all the DLC that came for that. Don't even forget about that, The City That Never Sleeps, and then you had Miles Morales on top of that, and then you'll get Spider-Man 2 come probably 2023, and I would imagine late 2023. So yeah, as these development windows are getting bigger and bigger, you are kind of bridging the gap between that by adding these expansions. We'll see if that comes to fruition with Horizon Forbidden West, but I would imagine that would be the case. Alright, moving on from that, quick note on Forbidden West. Nearly 50% of the game sales were done digitally, so that is a significant number. Remember, we talked about the sales numbers, and they were below Horizon Zero Dawn from a physical standpoint in the UK. However, Forbidden West was the top downloaded title in the UK as well, and what's interesting is almost half, 49% of the games were digital, and compared to the launch of the Horizon Zero Dawn digital version, the sales for Forbidden West are double of what it achieved in March of 2017. Whoa, that just goes to show how exponentially the digital market has grown on PlayStation over the last 5 years. I've been saying it, but back in 2017, anecdotally speaking, when I would talk to my friends, a lot of them were buying physical games. Nowadays, hardly any of them are buying physical games, and all of them that I talked to all bought Forbidden West from a download standpoint. So yeah, when you see that initial number of it being, you know, down from a physical sales standpoint compared to Zero Dawn, that doesn't tell the whole story. Now we're getting the whole story, and the game sold a lot of copies downloadably, and 67% of those sales were on the PlayStation 5, and I do still have that same notion that there are people out there that are waiting for PS5s to get a PS5, and then they'll buy Horizon Forbidden West because they don't want to play the game on the PS4, although from what I'm hearing from my friends that are playing on the PlayStation 4, they all think it looks pretty good, even if it's at 30 frames per second. Visually, it seems like the consensus is that the game does still look rather good. So interesting from a sales number standpoint. All right, moving on from that, Guerrilla put out a tweet. You can now enjoy the score that accompanies your machine hunts both in and out of the game. The soundtrack of Horizon Forbidden West is now available on streaming platforms. They have a link available on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, iTunes Store, Amazon Music to buy, Pandora, and then a couple other platforms as well. Horizon Forbidden West, I think, has an incredible soundtrack. It's very calming at times, but when it needs to get epic, it can get very, very epic. The main theme in particular, I think, is just fantastic. I think the whole soundtrack is really, really great. One of the stronger elements of the game, like, you can still be kind of down on the gameplay. I don't know if people are. The melee combat, I have seen and heard some criticism on that, but I think the presentation, the visuals are obviously top-notch, but I also think the sound design in this game is absolutely incredible, and nice to see the soundtrack available as well if you guys do want to check it out. Lastly, I do want to note Elden Ring is having some performance issues right now. Bandai Namco put out an official post on their page. I'm playing the game on PC currently, and there's some issues on PC as well, some bad frame stuttering. Hopefully all of those issues are going to be remedied. I have the PlayStation 5 version as well, so I'm going to try that out, and hopefully that will be a decent experience for me. Nothing game-breaking on PC for sure. PlayStation 5, I'm hearing, is not a consistent 60 frames per second, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but there are some issues, like the PS5 console was unexpectedly turned off while playing the game, or in rest mode, save data may not be saved correctly. We are aware of the cause of this issue and are working on a patch to correct it, but until the patch is released, please save your game manually by exiting the game regularly. Game data will be saved correctly if you quit the game by opening the system menu, using the option button and selecting quit game, then press the home button to return to the PS5 home screen and to quit the game application. Alright, so the game itself, I think, is an incredible experience from an atmosphere standpoint. I think the world is beautiful to look at. Even though it's not like a technically groundbreaking game from like a visual presentation, I just think aesthetically the game is so great, and the sound design in this game is excellent as well, and the world is pretty big. Like, I'm just going into random dungeons and fighting random bosses. I went all the way to one side of the map and then fought a boss that absolutely obliterated me. Back to the drawing board on that one, and yeah, enjoying the game. Imagine this is going to be one that a lot of people sink a lot of time into, so we'll see how that turns out over the course of the next couple of weeks. Hopefully it gets better and better from a technical standpoint. That's really the one thing holding the game back, at least from my experience. But that's going to do it for me. Again, potential Horizon Forbidden West expansion or DLC may have been outed. We'll see. Maybe I'm missing something here, or maybe this is just something that was included and Guerrilla doesn't have plans for that. However, I think that would be a missed opportunity given how well Zero Dawn's Frozen Wilds expansion did, and then that was an opportunity for them to re-release the game as well in the Complete Edition. I imagine they're going to do something similar here from a financial standpoint. That just seems to make sense, especially when you do put that version of the game out. At that point, more and more people are going to have a PS5, so that might, you know, lure them in to buy the game as well, or it might just be an attractive option for them. So something to consider there. And 50% of the Forbidden West sales from a digital standpoint seems to be what's going on here. The physical sales are down, but the digital sales are well up over Zero Dawn, and the soundtrack for the game is readily available. And Elden Ring, some performance issues right now. Hopefully that's ironed up, some technical issues as well. Again, hopefully that is fixed in the very near future. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.